Hello and welcome to Willoughby DIY. My name's Faith and today I'm making this super sweet reindeer sign. And it's all part of my 12 Days of Christmas DIY series. You'll need this 3-part sign from the Dollar Tree. We're just going to remove that ribbon from the back that's holding all the pieces together. You can just pull this right off. It's barely in there with some small staples. And then I took some scrapbooking paper that I picked up at Michael's. I'll cut 3 pieces that are the same length as the signs and are about 4 inches wide, and they'll fit on the signs like this. Once you have all 3 pieces cut, we can attach them. I'll be attaching mine using spray adhesive, but you can use whatever you have on hand. Make sure you line that up nice and centered on each of the signs. I printed out these 3 adorable reindeer heads onto some cardstock paper, and I'm going to cut them all out. And yes, this is tedious. I used some little detailing scissors from the Dollar Tree. And I'll be painting this, but honestly, you probably should paint it before you cut it out. If you have some carbon paper, it would be a lot easier, probably a lot easier to just transfer the image onto the scrapbooking paper. Once you have all your pieces cut out, we can paint them. I'm using some watered down acrylic paint. I watered it down to make it kind of like watercolor paint. I'm going to use a light brown on the face and ears, some dark brown on the antlers and the noses of 2 of the reindeer, and the 3rd reindeer will be Rudolph, so it'll have a red nose, some pink in the ears, and then once everything dries, I'm going to refresh that outline around all 3 reindeer heads with a Sharpie. I'll fill in the eyes as well, and then take some white paint to just make that little highlight on their eyes pop. For Rudolph, I wanted to add some glitter to his nose, so I'm just painting on some Mod Podge and pouring some red glitter that I picked up at the Dollar Tree right on there. Once everything was dry, I took a glue stick and covered the backs of all 3 reindeer heads in that adhesive. Be extra careful with the antlers, you don't want to rip those off. And then we can attach them to the centers of each sign. And then we can make a frame for each of the signs. I'm using the giant craft sticks that I get from Walmart. You will need 12 sticks. I'll cut 2 to fit the sides just like this. And then the other 2 will fit on the top and bottom, overlapping the side pieces. I cut down all 12 of my craft sticks and then I stain them using acrylic paint that's mixed with water. I'm just going to paint that onto the fronts of each of my craft sticks and wipe off any excess paint to make it look like a stain. Then I take some white acrylic paint and just dry brush that onto each of the sticks to give it a distressed, weathered look. And this is completely optional. Once the sticks are completely dry, I'm going to attach them to each of the signs using hot glue. I attach the side ones first. Make sure you're slightly overlapping the stick with the scrapbooking paper. Attach the other one in the same way. And for the top and bottom one, I just put a small line of hot glue on the edge of the side sticks and attach the top and bottom sticks on without overlapping the image. And to make sure it's nice and secure, I'm going to flip it over and add some hot glue to the back. Then we can connect all of the signs together. I'm going to do that using a wide ribbon. You can use whatever kind of ribbon you want, but I chose this beautiful red and black buffalo check ribbon that I got from Walmart. Each of the signs are 2 inches apart and each of the strips of ribbon are 3 inches long. We'll just attach the ends of the ribbons on the backs of our signs. I'm using the grid on my cutting mat to make sure everything's nice and lined up. To give it a little bit extra security, I'm going to hot glue on a small craft stick to the edge of that ribbon on the back, and I'll do this to all the ribbon edges that are on the back of this sign. Then I'm going to get 2 of these bells that I picked up at Dollar Tree and 2 more feet of that same wide ribbon, and I'm going to create a simple bow with it. I'll be tying a pretty long piece of jute twine in the middle of it to hold it together, and because it is so long, I went ahead and tied the ends together to make the loop that I'll use as the hanger for this. But if you don't have long enough ends from tying the middle of this, you can just make a hanger separately, it's fine. Trim the ends of your ribbon tails. I took 6 feet of twine and threaded my bells on. You don't need that much twine. 3 or 4 feet will be plenty sufficient. Thread both of your bells on, tie the ends of the twine together, and then we're gonna maneuver the bells so that there's one on each end of this loop and the knot for this loop is in the center, halfway between each of the bells. Hope that makes sense. And then we're going to tie a knot just above each of the bells so they don't move around anywhere. And once you have that done, you can take that knot that's in the middle of that bell loop and hot glue that to the back of your bow. Take the tails where your bells are attached. We're going to wrap those around to create the center of our bow. Hot glue them to the back of your bow to secure them down, and then we can attach another 3-inch piece of ribbon to the back of our top sign. We're going to do that the same way as we did all the other ribbon strips, and then hot glue our bow right at the top of that ribbon piece. And that's it for this one. I think this turned out super cute. I wanted to make something really fun and cutesy for my kids. And I'm hanging this on the bathroom door. I think it turned out super cute though. It was really fun to make. And I'm sorry if the bell bow thing was super confusing. I was making it up as I went. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Tap that notification bell so you never miss a video. Check out my Holly Jolly DIY playlist for all of my holiday DIY so far. I hope you guys have a very merry day, and I'll see you tomorrow.